Hi, I'm Joe Badaracco. I'm a professor at Harvard Business School, and I'm going to talk with you for a little bit about my new book, The Good Struggle, which has been published by Harvard Business School Press. This book is about leading today, and what it does is look at the challenge of leading today very realistically. That means there's a lot less in the book about inspiration and a lot more about the hard struggle that a lot of people face. Today, we are all surrounded by sophisticated, always-on markets. That means there's intense performance pressure, there's a lot of uncertainty, from time to time there's a lot of turbulence. And this is the world in which people want to survive, they want to succeed, they want to do things they can look back and be proud of. So what this book does is try to offer them some lessons on how to struggle and struggle successfully today. My book essentially has three key findings. I've already touched on the first one, and that is that today, for a lot of managers, leadership and struggle are two sides of the same coin. That means if you're working hard, things aren't working out, don't necessarily blame yourself, don't blame your organization. It's the way things are today for lots of people. The second conclusion is that we can learn a lot from looking at entrepreneurs because they have always lived and worked in this world of always-on, high-pressure, uncertain markets. And the third finding is that we all need to rethink a lot of received wisdom about what counts as successful leadership and responsible leadership, because a lot of this wisdom was devised for a world that was much more stable, much less turbulent than the one we're in now. My basic methodology was very simple and very straightforward. I tried to learn all I could about entrepreneurs and how they met the struggle of competing successfully in high-pressure situations. So I interviewed recent entrepreneurs, successful and unsuccessful ones. And I had some remarkably candid conversations, especially about the tough times these men and women had faced. I interviewed venture capitalists and others who have worked closely for years with entrepreneurs. And I even went back and looked at important historical studies that described how the creators of big companies today, like ExxonMobil, struggled to build these in the very early years when they were entrepreneurs. So I tried to really immerse myself in the experience of entrepreneurs who had to struggle to get ahead. I think my book has several important implications for HR practitioners. One has to do with their role in hiring. As one entrepreneur put it, nothing is forever. And most people who are looking to join your organization understand that. That means I think that talking about long-term visions is going to ring hollow. And what you've got to give people a clear sense of is the job they can do in the shorter term, where they will learn something, make a contribution, and put a line on their resume. HR people often are extremely valuable counselors in organizations. And when you come upon people or people come to see you who are struggling, I think it's important to let them know that struggle is part and parcel of work today. It doesn't mean they're doing badly. It doesn't mean there's a problem with the organization. They need to look closely at ways in which they can work better, but struggle very often is the name of the game. I think there are three things that are unusual about my book, perhaps almost unique. One is that it's very realistic. It offers very little inspiration, though it offers some, but it really focuses on the experience that most people face today, which is work and leadership as a really tough struggle. Secondly, I think it provides some new perspectives on how to struggle well And it does this because it draws on the experience of many thoughtful entrepreneurs for whom struggle is part and parcel of their lives. And the final thing I'd say is that the book doesn't offer answers. It's not a 5-step approach. It offers a series of fundamental questions and some emerging answers to these questions that I drew from entrepreneurs. But it asks the reader to think for themselves, to ask themselves the questions, and then to work out, using what's in the book, answers that make sense for themselves and their organizations.